price to put food on the table. It's costing you a lot of money. You know that. You don't need us to tell you that. But it's also putting East Texas businesses in a tough spot tonight.
KLTV 7's April Peardon takes us inside a local meat market in Tyler, where they say they're trying to keep afloat.
The tenderloin, they're just amazing.
Tom Keller, the supervisor at Country Meat Market,
Prices are definitely on the rise.
has seen firsthand the impact inflation is causing.
There's upward pressure on the prices.
As a local butcher in Tyler, it has come to perhaps increasing their own prices just to keep the business going.
We'll be increasing some of our prices. We try to hold the line as much as we can to help our customers out, but sometimes you have to raise prices.
And people are feeling those prices at the grocery stores.
Just about everything is going up.
For Jesse Williamson, who was grocery shopping, he says it's hard to make ends meet right now.
Buying less, eating less. Yes, maybe not eating as much as I normally eat.
According to the Consumer Price Index, grocery prices rose 0.7% in April, to which Gary Meacham says he has definitely seen those increases.
Even groceries and even in restaurant prices.
The same data showed the broader meats, poultry, and fish category increased 1.3% during the past month, driven largely by a 2.7% jump in beef prices.
Some of the groceries, quality is not quite the same as ours.
Which, as Keller and his team plan to potentially increase their meat prices between 3 to 5%, they know quality matters most.
We try to make sure every part of our supply chain is quality so that there's no question about the good quality you get here.
Even if that means increased prices in the future. April Peardon, KLTV 7 News.
According to the USDA, farm-level cattle prices are predicted to increase 7.5%, while wholesale beef prices are projected to increase by 7.8% this year.